Hey guys, today we're going to talk about your sketchbook covers and how to glue down all of the objects that you found for your cover. So the first thing you want to do before you even start gluing is to think about the arrangement of the objects that you have. Now you should have at least 5 objects that tell the viewer something about yourself. So if you don't have those 5 objects, wait to glue. If you do have 5 or more objects, then you're ready to glue. And before you start gluing, play around with the arrangement of different objects. Don't just stack things left to right or up and down. That creates a really stagnant artwork. It's better to play around with angles, create triangles with shapes, and what that does is it helps lead the viewer's eye around your artwork. They want to look and enjoy everything that you have on your page. So once you have a nice arrangement like I have here, what you're going to do is take off the items and kind of remember where things are going to go, because you're going to glue from the bottom to the top. So anything that's on the bottom, you want to glue that down first and then kind of build up from the bottom, just like you would when you're building a house. You put the foundation down, then maybe start building the structure, and then you add all the details on top of that. So I'm going to take off all my items and kind of place them around my work surface here. Okay, so now I'm ready to glue. And my first piece is just a piece of cardstock. And Mod Podge is really great for cardstock, magazines, any kind of flat paper. Even like really thick, heavy paper, it's really good at adhering, but it's not very good at adhering three-dimensional objects. So these guys you want to save for the hot glue. Now you don't want to use hot glue on paper, and one reason is because it leaves like a bubble effect underneath your paper, because it glues way too quickly and it won't spread out really thin like Mod Podge will. So Mod Podge is just a very heavy duty craft adhesive, and it also helps waterproof your page too. So if you accidentally spill your coffee or paint or something on it, it's going to protect it. You can wipe it right off. So there's 2 different kinds of Mod Podge. There's glossy, that means it's shiny when it dries, and then there's matte, and that means it's not shiny, it's just matte. So it doesn't matter which one you start off with for gluing down the base of your objects. Later on, we're going to take one of these and put a nice clear coat finish over the top of our sketchbooks. So then it'll help protect it, and it'll also keep it really nice and shiny, like I did for this one that we're working on in 7th grade. Okay, so I'm going to take this off, and Mod Podge, normally with glue, we don't really put it on the back surface of our paper that we're gluing. Well, Mod Podge works a little bit differently. It works best if you actually glue the surface that you're going to be gluing to. Okay, so I'm just going to put a nice thin layer. It helps if you go up and down, back and forth with your glue. Now there's cups upon cups probably sitting back by the sink. Please use a cup that has Mod Podge in it before you pour yourself a new one. If you don't have any new Mod Podge out on the counter there, pour about a quarter size amount, and here's why. Mod Podge dries quickly, and it gets very, very thick. So if you fill up your cup, it's going to get too thick for you to glue a lot of pieces down, especially since you want to work small and then work your way big. So you can always go back and get more if you need to. So I'm going to line this up, and I'm going to do this very carefully, because pretty much once you put things down with Mod Podge, that's the end of it. Okay. And then once you have it there, okay, you might have a little bit of wiggle room here. But once it dries, forget it. You're never going to be able to take this off of here. All right, so I have that down. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my next layer, and I'm going to look at all my paper shapes. So I know that I wanted to put this kind of in the corner here, but I want to make sure I have enough room. So that looks good. Now I can go ahead, Mod Podge over that. Now, if you have lots of different things stacking over the top of each other, it's okay for you to take this paper, glue it down, and then put a little bit of Mod Podge over the top of it. But for the most part, you want to wait until the bottom of your paper's dry before you put something over the top of it. For example, maybe I might have this guy. And I know that's going to get covered up. So I'll put it in there now. And I know this guy was going to go over here. And this was going to go in my music notes. Sorry, my heart shape that's here. I can go right over the top of this. But here's the thing, if you use too much glue, your paper is going to wrinkle. And when you have wrinkled paper, over time, it's going to start peeling up because the backing isn't secure. So make sure that you use a very thin amount of glue. Okay, I didn't even re-dip my paintbrush. I just used whatever was left on it. That's okay. It's better to use a dry brush technique than to just use gobs of glue. So now I am ready to glue on some of my heavier objects. So I'm going to wait for this to dry, and then I'll catch you in the next video on how to use the hot glue gun.